Invincible is probably one of the best animated superhero shows currently out right now, and with the last 2 episodes of Season 3 being some of the highest rated episodes out of any television show ever, it's very obvious that Invincible has a very strong following behind it, and rightfully so. This show has some of the best storytelling and writing out of any superhero media that's come out in recent memory, and with Amazon giving Kirkman complete free reign to improve on his original comic run in any way that he wants, it's made a show that's been able to improve on what's already been regarded as one of the best indie comics to come out during the 2000s. The one area where it seems Amazon forgot to give the team free reign though was in the animation department. The show has a fairly low budget for an Amazon project, and when looking at a show like Rings of Power or The Boys, 2 shows with episodes that cost $60 million and $10 million respectively, it's hard to justify a budget that's reportedly 20 times lower than The Boys. It really is crazy to think that a show with such a similar audience, viewership, and popularity as these other 2 shows is given such a smaller budget, when realistically, it's doing just as much for Amazon. Rings of Power, a show that's been given significantly less critical acclaim than Invincible, yet still has a budget that makes it one of the most expensive TV shows of all time, is still something that Amazon has more faith in than a project that season after season has beaten every expectation and obstacle that's tried to stand in its way of success. Reviews for this show across every platform have been nearly perfect, and not giving the show a budget to animate to the best of its ability is such an Amazon move that 1, doesn't surprise me, but 2, ultimately sucks. Invincible is the quintessential underdog success story, and it's been that way ever since its inception in 2003. Image Comics has always been a group whose success is solely determined on the drive and determination of the creatives behind each comic, and with a company and society who still sees animation as somewhat of a lower art form than live action, especially in TV and film environments, it's clear to see that this theme of passion over funding is still unfortunately residing within the creative team of Invincible. With that being said though, the fact of the matter isn't that current day animation studios don't have the means to produce well-rounded animation. It's quite the opposite. X-Men 97 has some of the best cartoon animation I've seen come out in the last couple of years, and a passion project of a film like Flow, made with just under $4 million, won almost every animated award category during this year's award season. The issue with Invincible resides completely outside of the creative team, but rather with Amazon's money-hungry studio executives who would rather sink $400 million into a show they still blindly believe might one day rival Game of Thrones than invest in what could easily be one of the best animated shows of the decade. And maybe the market for animation is smaller than live action, but let's be real, it's not like anyone is asking for a Rings of Power budget for this show. But when a show under Netflix like Arcane is given $250 million for 2 seasons, I'm almost positive a company valued at $2 trillion can muster up more than a measly 6-figure budget per episode. Even with all of that being taken into consideration though, the animation for this show does kinda suck at times, especially when the episode isn't a major fight or narratively important story. Outside of the aforementioned budget issues, another large part of the issue comes down to the time frame they're given to pump this show out in. With the season per year track it looks like they're trying to go down right now, it makes it nearly impossible for the animation to be as polished as it could be. Realistically, this yet again comes down to the budget issue, as Amazon is not providing the means for these animators to have a large enough team to provide solid results in such a small time frame. On the bright side though, Invincible is able to effectively make the major moments of this franchise have such a large enough impact that some of the less important story elements can have some of these lower quality issues. Honestly, I'd gladly take 6 of these really mediocrely animated episodes if it means the final 2 episodes of the season look just as good and hit just as hard as the last 2 of this season did. I do think the animation is a little overhated though. Like, yeah, it's very obvious when it's just a pan of like 13 still character models, or someone stops talking and they instantly become a cardboard cutout, but outside of moments like that, I don't totally hate it. And even when it is bad, it's more funny than anything, and it doesn't really take away too much from the viewing experience. Most of the time, the animation looks like it's ripped straight out of a comic book, and the basic style allows for more of the story to shine over some of the animation being super stylized. Would I like this show to have its own style and flair? Of course. But this show feels very reminiscent of the old Batman and Superman the Animated Series TV shows, and I kinda like that. I'm coping right now, let's be real, but it's not that the animation is making this show hard to watch, it's just a feature that's missing that I hope can be added onto what is arguably one of the best comic stories ever written. There's so much more to come with this show too, and I don't necessarily want to get into spoilers in this video, but with how much more grand this story gets, it's hard to see how much justice some of these later arcs can be given if we're stuck with a budget disrespectful to the story. Invincible's animation has its moments where it really shines, and I don't want to take away from those moments. But as a whole, there's so much more I wish this show was able to do, and that doesn't come with a greater creative passion for the show, it comes down to the budget that this show is given. Like the title says, Invincible doesn't have an animation problem, it has an Amazon problem. Amazon yet again does its favorite job where it cost cuts in almost every avenue it can, and unfortunately that comes down to the animation department. If you made it this far in the video and this is your first time hearing about Invincible, 1, I'm kinda shocked you kept watching, but 2, go watch the show. I can't recommend it enough, and while we sit here and wait for season 4, let's just pray Amazon can come to their senses and raise the per episode budget for this show.